Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Manisha Tanasi.
I grew up in a very Orthodox family. I was born in a Muslim family, traditional, went to madrasa, completed my Islamic, all the education and stuff. And then I studied until 12th in Kerala. I always wanted to become an air hostess. That was always my dream. And I did appear for the interview in Air India, but I was doing my graduation at that time. So they asked me to come back even though I was there until the final interview. So then I went back to the school and then studied, and then I got a job as a ground staff in Hyderabad airport.
Wow.
Yeah, with the GSA of Indian Airlines. So I started enjoying it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to fly. I just want to be on the ground. Well, the thing is, if you're flying, you're stuck with 300, or depending upon the size of the flight, you're stuck with those many people, right? But at the airport, you're dealing with a lot of people. Like you're meeting the 1,000. I'm a people person. I love to talk. One who joined the airline carrier, or like from my family, because women doesn't work usually in the Muslim families in my tradition and stuff.
So you started enjoying your interactions with people, a lot of people that you met on a daily basis.
Yeah, I grew as a person. Like after joining ATB, it's not just my career growth, it was my personal growth as well. I learned a lot from people. What I have noticed is I started my career with ATB in Lethbridge. It's a small town from here towards south, which is 250 kilometers from Calgary. And so since it is a very small town, everyone knows each other. Yeah, so that was a big slap on our face. And the culture issues were always there. I'm a typical Indian. He grew up in Canada. The background is Arabic culture. So that was always there. And on top of that, when my baby got diagnosed, I did not feel that connection with that family the way that we always feel. Like Indians are always together and taking care of the children and all that stuff. So I literally felt like I was all alone in this battle. He was there, but like an invisible person. That's what I felt. Maybe at that time, that's how I felt, because as a mom,
You wanted more.
Exactly.
More from him for your baby.
Yeah, I did not feel like I was getting that. I felt like I'm the only one who is there for my babies.
Hello and welcome everybody to the next episode of WOW TV. As you know, WOW TV is geared at women empowerment and telling the stories of influential women entrepreneurs in Calgary and surrounding areas. So I know there has been a slight gap, and I do apologize for that, but we're back now. As you know, we were busy with our Masti and Mohabbat event, for which you all give us a tremendous response. Thank you so much, everybody, for your love and support always. And today I am back, like I said, with another wonderful WOW lady, and her name, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Manisha Tanasi. So before we continue, I will let Manisha say a few words about herself.
So before I say something, I would like to wish all the Mallus around the world happy Vishu. And myself is Manisha Tanasi. I'm a mom of 2 beautiful girls, and I work for ATB as a performance coach, and I'm also a realtor.
Okay, so you know what? That was a brief bio about Manisha, but we're gonna dive deeper into her story. So Manisha, tell me about your childhood. I know you were born in the beautiful city of Kochi in Kerala, and you are very beautiful too. I mean, yeah. So tell us about your childhood, how it was like for you there in Kerala. What was your upbringing like? Tell me about your family. So what really inspired you? There must have been, inspiration always begins from home, from family, right? So I'm sure there must have been elements that started at home. So I want to know more about those.
So I grew up in a very Orthodox family. I was born in a Muslim family, traditional, went to madrasa, completed my Islamic, all the education and stuff. And then I studied until 12th in Kerala. From there, I went to Andhra Pradesh and then did my university from there. I always wanted to become an air hostess. That was always my dream.
Wow, air hostess, oh nice.
Yes, and I did appear for the interview in Air India, but I was doing my graduation at that time. So they asked me to come back even though I was there until the final interview. So then I went back to the school and then studied, and then I got a job as a ground staff in Hyderabad airport.
Wow.
Yeah, with the GSA of Indian Airlines. So I started enjoying it, and I'm like, you know what? I don't want to fly. I just want to be on the ground.
Really? So like most people think they enjoy traveling, and you, after being with airlines and traveling by flights, you came to the conclusion that you want to be on the land.
Well, the thing is, if you're flying, you're stuck with 300, or depending upon the size of the flight, you're stuck with those many people, right? But at the airport, you're dealing with a lot of people, like you're meeting the 1,000. I'm a people person. I love to talk. So I was dealing with like around 15 to 2,000 people, 1,500 to 2,000 people. So I enjoyed a lot, and the time flies when you work at airports. So it's just, but I was the first one who joined the airline carrier, or like from my family, because women doesn't work usually in the Muslim families in my tradition and stuff.
Right.
So, but then my generation, or my sister's generation, that is when we started going to the universities, women started working, all that stuff. Until then, everyone was just housewife, taking care of children. Yeah, so I just came from such an Orthodox family.
Okay, well, that is interesting. So you came from an Orthodox family, but you chose, I think, what's perceived as a very glamorous and outgoing career of being an air hostess, and you ended up being the ground staff with Indian Airlines. That must have been very exciting. So I'm sure that working with the people, that kind of is where it started from, I'm sure, right? Yes. So you started enjoying your interactions with people, a lot of people that you met on a daily basis. And then what happened? How come this journey to Canada from India?
So then we decided to move from Andhra Pradesh to Kerala back, and I got a job at Cochin Airport. And my husband, he met me at the airport, and he found my house, and he talked to my parents. It was an arranged marriage. I would say one-sided arranged marriage. I was not interested. There was so many things. It was not a happy marriage. So it ended up in divorce. There was so much physical, emotional, financial abuse in that marriage. But he's the one who wanted to come to Canada. And so he brought me here. We came as permanent resident in 2010. We moved to Toronto. And then we decided to move to Alberta, because at that time, like Ontario was very saturated. Too many people were coming. So we decided to move here. And then after coming here, I got a job with ATB Financial. So I've been working with ATB Financial for the last more than 9 years now.
Okay, that's amazing.
Right. And the people has been very supportive. I would say I'm working with the best employer.
I 100% agree, because I work with ATB too, as you know. That's how we met, and they are definitely Alberta's topmost employers, without any doubt. The culture of diversity, inclusivity, mutual respect, teamwork, there's so much to learn from ATB. So yeah, I'm sure that when you moved here, you said 2010, you started working with the ATB. I mean, that's the best thing that could have happened, right? You got break with one of the best employers, and that must have laid foundations for an amazing journey ahead. So I'm sure then you made a lot of connections through ATB, because I know networking is big.
Yeah, I grew as a person. Like after joining ATB, it's not just my career growth. It was my personal growth as well. I learned a lot from people. What I have noticed is I started my career with ATB in Lethbridge. It's a small town from here towards south, which is 250 kilometers from Calgary. And so since it is a very small town, everyone knows each other. And most of the people are not from our background. So what I learned from Canadians is you don't have to necessarily experience a traumatic situation for you to be empathetic. They are naturally born empathetic people. They understand others, like I have learned a lot, and I grew as a person. I became more empathetic, understanding by being with this kind of people.
Exactly. And हमारे कल्चर में ऐसे होता है कि अगर आपने वो सिचुएशन फेस करी है तभी आप उसे रिलेट कर पाते हैं.
Exactly.
But इधर I know every time the emphasis on conversations is कि naturally be empathetic. Just feel how you would feel in the given situation, even if you haven't experienced it yourself. but it's something that should come from within. So I'm sure that must have led to a lot of personal, growth. And I know that's the potential is immense.
I was very much influenced by them. It was like a wow moment for me to
Right.
understand.
And as an immigrant, right, like आपको बहुत चीजें नहीं पता होती है, and when you work with an employer that has the team culture, जहाँ पे diverse groups के साथ आपकी interaction होती है, तो obviously you learn a lot. So I completely agree with you. तो फिर why did you move from Lethbridge to Calgary?
Well, the thing is, I was going through the divorce, and that is when, because I didn't have any family members here,
Okay.
I was a single mom with a child, and
Okay.
I thought maybe I should make a family. So
Okay.
I started looking for someone, and that is when I came across my husband, Peter Tanasi.
Okay.
He was born in Lebanon but grew up here.
Okay.
So we met and we connected, and we decided to proceed from there. I met the family, and they were so happy with me. So we decided to get married, and it was like everything happened just in a blink of eye, I would say. So that is how I moved to Calgary.
So he was from Calgary? Peter was
Yes,
from Calgary? Okay.
yes, he was from.
So that's how you moved.
Yeah.
So basically at that point, you were divorced from your first husband,
Yeah.
but you were still looking for family. I guess that was what was missing, and you wanted to give a family to your child. So you married again with
Yes.
Peter, and then
Yeah.
you moved to Calgary.
Yeah.
Okay, and so then what happened after? I mean, I don't want to dive too deep into that because I know it can bring up some memories that you probably don't want to talk about. But if
No,
you can just tell us a little bit about your journey, like how went through your experience through that time.
No, I'm actually open to say anything because I have faced a lot of challenges. God has thrown a lot of challenges on me, and so far I have succeeded. So I'm happy. God is happy.
That is
So,
great. That is great.
Yeah, so I moved to Calgary. It was initially a really good relationship and all that stuff, but and then we had a baby together. It was going great until she became 2-year-old, and that's when she got diagnosed with leukemia. Yeah, so that was a big slap on our face, and the culture issues were always there. I'm a typical Indian. He grew up in Canada. The background is Arabic culture. So that was always there. And on top of that, when my baby got diagnosed, I did not feel that connection with that family the way that we always feel. Like Indians are always together and taking care of the children and all that stuff. So I literally felt like I was all alone in this battle. He was there, but like an invisible person. That's what I felt. Maybe at that time, that's how I felt, because as a mom, you
wanted more. You wanted
Exactly.
more from him for your baby.
Yeah, I did not feel like I was getting that. I felt like I'm the only one who is there for my baby. So it is also very common for people to feel that way especially when the child is diagnosed with something very dangerous. Disease like that, because it always creates that gap in the relationships. So it actually happened. We already had some minor issues, and then it became worse during this treatment. It was not easy. The first phases, induction phase, were she had to get chemo every second day, third day. So after 2 weeks, they discharged baby from the hospital, and then after that, every second day or third day, we have to take her to the hospital, and it's a whole day process. Seeing the baby sick like that, and
as a mother, I mean, it's very hard because I understand, a 2-year-old baby suffering so much and a long-term treatment would definitely have impacted you mentally a lot.
Of course.
It's, and then it definitely takes a toll on relationships as well. So I completely understand that. But I applaud you. I mean, you saw so many challenges in your life, and still you came through and stood up for your children as a very strong woman, as a very strong mother when you decided to pursue real estate. I mean, that's not an easy career in itself. So how did that come about, like through all these challenges that you were facing?
So that's actually a very good question. I'm not a very smart person, but I always find a way to survive in this world. So I actually was thinking like how I can. I need some. I want to see some light. I want to wish that there is some light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
And at that point, I did not see anything because my baby is going through the worst phase of the life, which is the intense treatment, and we decided to separate, and that separation was not a very pleasant experience.
Yeah.
So that divorce things, and so I was dealing with the divorce process along with the baby's treatment. I got the full 90% custody, so that means I get 5 days with her and 2 days for him. So I had to battle, go for that fight for the custody while I was taking care of baby all by myself.
That must have been so hard.
Yeah,
Was there any support system through that time when you were going through all of this? Like your
from
family,
ATB,
friends, ATB?
I don't have any family here. That is the reason I decided to look for a family, right? From ATB, definitely my team lead and the co-workers very supportive. But at the same time, we all live in different, we don't live in the same city, right?
Exactly.
Some people even live in British Columbia and work for ATB. So they were not physically present. Emotionally, they gave me the support. But at the same time, I was alone. So there were instances where I got COVID and she got COVID. And so I was not able to go out and get groceries. And Instacart was not famous at that time. So there was no one to help. And there were so many instances like that. So that's when... so it was a very tough moment, and that is when my ex-husband said we should sell the property. So I was looking for a realtor who I can trust and invite home because I was living with my two children.
In that situation.
Right, and that is the most lowest state of my life because seeing my baby going through the intense therapy and then dealing with the divorce was not easy. So I wanted someone who I can trust, and I don't think I'm a very good judge of character. I always trust people blindly. So I found someone and he came for the evaluation, and I thought he's a very knowledgeable person. So I asked how to become a realtor. So he's the one who said, okay, this is how you become the realtor. And so I thought I want to hold on to something that gives me hope. And that was the only option that I saw. And that was a way of me surviving. And that is how I cope up with my issues that were happening at that time. So I decided to pursue my career as a realtor. And I'm also a people person. I love to help people. So I thought my banking knowledge plus the real estate knowledge will help me provide the best service for the clients.
Okay. Yeah, no, that is no kidding. Like if you have worked in a bank, definitely you have a very solid foundation and understanding of the finances. And then, I mean, you dealt through so many personal situations as well, and you came out as a much stronger person. So that in itself really equips you as somebody who's really strong on a personal front too. And of course, with your knowledge, with your experiences, you are definitely going to be one of the really great realtors in this city. I wish you all the best. I mean, women that make, the conscious choice of being independent, standing for their children deserve all the support. And I'm sure that when community hears your story and, knows you now on a personal level, that their trust in you as a realtor will only grow multifold. That is our wish, hope, dream, and desire from the WOW platform. Thank you so much for joining. I mean, honestly, I've had so many conversations with you in the past, I think, 2 weeks that I've known you, and you've inspired me so much. I think there's so much potential. I don't know why you say that you're not a smart person. You are a smart person, but Manisha, let me tell you one thing. I think even the smartest people fall through the traps. It is very easy to fall into traps because the way the world is, moving on at this point in time, it's really hard to trust anybody. I mean, forget about outsiders in your own family. It's very hard to build trust and, hope that they will stand with you the way that you have stood by them. So there are very few people that come through those promises and their words, and not many people are people of their words. But I salute you for the immense potential and strength and the growth I mean, you are definitely survival. So with the real estate, like, how long has it been since you got your real estate license, and who are you working with? Like, which brokerage are you working with?
So I got the license in December 2023.
Okay.
I work for Remax. Yeah,
Okay.
it took a while because the evaluation process was quite long. I
Yeah.
had to do my credentials and English proficiency test. There was a
With
long
Rika?
process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then the course was completely done very quickly. I did not take much time for doing the course and giving the exam. It was all done in 2 months.
Wow, both
Yeah.
the courses? Wow, that's
Yes.
really amazing. So just 2 months to
Mhm.
pass your exams and
Yeah.
get your license.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the evaluation process took
Was
some time
longer
though.
for
Yeah,
you.
and I was all alone. There was no help, and dealing with the children, divorce case. It was not easy, but at the same time, for me to move on with my life, and
Yeah.
I needed something to hold on to, and this real estate was my focus. Because
That's great.
I knew I could.
So that's your anchor, and that's your like something that really keeps you grounded and gives you stability. That's good. And do you enjoy real estate? Like ever since you started working that, like what are some of the trends that you're noticing in for Calgary? Like what are your predictions? What is your advice to the customers?
So I love the real estate career, as I mentioned. I love to talk to people, interact with them, educate them, and especially saving money for someone else, because I've been in the financial industry for the last 14 years. And I love to find a way how I can save the money for others. Maybe not my money, but others, right? There is no such thing as predictions from my end. What I see is there is some people are thinking that, okay, I will buy the first time home once the price goes down. There is no such thing as price going down.
Okay.
Let's say, like, because of the interest rate, maybe $1 million property, they might bring the price down because people cannot afford it. And even the people who bought the property are stuck with that property. Now the interest rate is high, they cannot afford the mortgage. So some are trying to sell it, and maybe they bought it for $1 million, they might be selling it for 900,000, taking a loss on it. But otherwise, the starter homes like condos, any kind of condos like townhouses, apartments, those prices are not going to come down. We have actually seen the highest raise in the townhouses. Like the townhouses were sold the most last year. The prices are skyrocketing for townhouses. So
compared to like single lane detached homes, you're thinking like the multi units, like the multi-family units, their prices will continue to rise. And I think it kind of goes with the fact that there's a lot of immigration happening in Calgary, and with the inventory not keeping up at the same, I would say, rate, they're more invested into building townhouses and apartments now because they can accommodate more people, right?
They can accommodate, and it is more affordable for the people who are looking for, especially the first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of people who are interested in investment properties just because the rental market is crazy now. So there are a lot of people who are looking because they cannot afford the mortgage, right? I wouldn't say the detached homes are unaffordable now. As long as you're looking for something within 600 to 700,000 maximum, you still can afford it. But anything above 700,000 is becoming, unaffordable for many.
Limited buyers for those kind of properties. And would you say that it's like a good investment to invest in apartments and townhouses versus the single family homes?
It depends upon people to people, what you're looking for. I would say at any point of the day, instead of renting, it's always better to buy something, even if it is small. Let's say it could be old, as long as it fits within your budget. Because at the end of the day, when you're renting, there is no equity building up.
Exactly.
For the condo, the problem is the condo fees. So we will have to do the condo review, and we will have to look into the condo fees. And so because the condo fees that you're paying, most of the people think that's a waste of money. I wouldn't say it is waste of money, because there are a lot of things involved in this, which is except electricity. Yeah, for the apartment, they cover most of the things except electricity.
Okay.
So they don't have to worry about the snow removal, then the sewage, then
garbage.
yes, and heating, water.
Well, that is actually really great.
Exactly.
Yeah. With the utilities skyrocketing, although I mean, I think it's the electricity that has increased the most. But even with that, I think that seems like a pretty economical solution for most
Right.
people.
When I used to, my first property was an apartment. I still have it. The electricity was barely like $80. Now probably it is $150. But for my home, I'm paying $650 every month for the gas and all that stuff. So paying condo fees or paying to the utilities, either or we are
maintenance and
exactly.
Headache, right?
You don't have to remove the snow and stuff. So people do not actually take the concept of condo fees in the right way.
Yeah.
So that education is needed. For the townhouse, the problem is most of this utilities are not included, only the snow removal, the sewage, the basic and the insurance for the outer space.
But then is the townhouse fees then less compared to the condo fees?
Comparatively lesser, but at the same time, the townhouse has more features, which is like more, it gives you more homely vibe. It's not high-rise building or anything, so people prefer townhouses over the condos, but at this, I mean apartments. But at the same time, it can be a little more expensive than apartments, right? Okay.
Well, thank you so much for giving us that deep dive into real estate. And obviously, I can see that you are very knowledgeable and very passionate about real estate. So I am, very honored that you shared and you chose Wow platform to share your personal and professional journey. And we do urge all our viewers to support Manisha Tanasi in her journey as a realtor. She does work with ATB, so that is an added bonus because it is one of the biggest business banks in Canada. And at ATB, we believe in making it
work.
Making it possible, making it work. So you with her as a realtor, she has connections with the bank as well. So I mean, today's world, when you buy real estate property, I think the biggest challenge or hurdle is getting a mortgage. But with her as a realtor, I think you will have that edge as well because she's already connected to a very well-established bank. So Manisha, as we're closing for this episode, which I am sure our viewers enjoyed a lot, what would you like to say as one message to our viewers in general or women that are watching that have faced similar hurdles and you yourself faced immense challenges that came out as a survivor and a successful entrepreneur? And I mean, I'm sure when women hear this, they will look up to you for advice. What do you want to say to them?
So many people reach out to me because I'm a little active in the community. So when you're going through some hurdles like divorce, like separation or child custody case, anything, I'm here. You don't have to consider me as a realtor. I'm here as Manisha. I will be here to support you in any way possible. My perception about divorce and things changed because of a few things that I came across recently.
Right.
So I would say, if you're planning for anything like separation, divorce, please always reach out to the people who you trust the most. In a way, there are a lot of things happening in this world. There are even some people who are focusing or targeting the single moms. And as soon as you have the tag of single mom, you are at big risk. So reach out to me, reach out to Simi, reach out to people who you trust before you take any kind of decisions, and protect yourself. When you're at a vulnerable state, you would trust anyone. You would try to hold on to anything that you get. Just stay strong. We are here to support you. So you're not alone.
Yeah, and through her journey, what I wanted to highlight is like, there is trauma that happens in life. There are sometimes unfortunate situations that we go through, but please do not fall into the trap of taking self-blame and, thinking I'm responsible because I made poor choices. That's the reason I'm going through this. No, you're not. You're just a human being who did the best for yourself and your family and continue to do so as a woman. And that's the message we want to give. With her story, I'm sure it helped to illustrate that no matter how big the challenge is, it is not the end of the road for you. You can still rise from ashes like a phoenix and make it a big and immense success. So through WOW, we will keep sharing these stories of inspiring women in the community, and we hope that you will continue to love and support us. Please do not forget to follow, like, share, and subscribe to our channel for listening to more such stories. Thank you, everybody.